Prime Minister DR.KEITH Rowley says crime fighting is not just a matter for the police. He says it's a question of parenting, personal responsibility and lifestyle. Dr. Rowley is encouraging communities to take a more hands-on approach when it comes to reducing crime. He was asked if he himself felt safe in Trinidad and Tobago, considering the increasing amount of criminal activity.
But given the reckless behavior of some people, there are things that you have to always be aware of your personal surroundings, your personal safety. And whereas there was a time when certain things were not in front of you. I grew up in an environment where I can tell you no, exactly where I was and how I felt the first time there was a murder in my district. And that happened when I was about 8 years old.
When it comes to the safety of citizens, he says the government has made significant steps.
The presence of those officers whose job it is to respond to the criminal element, they successfully would bring that, as they get more and more success, it would bring that sense of fear down, because the fear of crime is experienced by everybody in this country, from Prime Minister to everybody else.
And the Prime Minister says it's premature to say that the Paria Fuel Trading Company Limited is for sale. In a 2-hour live television interview, Dr. Rowley said he's hoping to have it leased in a matter of months. He said he's not sure of the value of Paria and the criteria for a lease.
The experts within the company will deal with that and their advisors. And of course, the proposal is what I'm going to be focusing on at the level of the cabinet. What is going to happen? Somebody will want the refinery for lease. At what cost? The company will determine that. To buy at what cost? Because it has a value which can be established.
And Dr. Rowley said he's hoping to have the Guaracara refinery leased in a matter of months.
The quicker we get the refinery operating, the better, because its absence is what you were referring to, causing certain hardships. The quicker we get the refinery restarted, and this is not the first time this has happened anywhere in the world, you know. I mean, there's a refinery in Aruba, which only recently was supposed to be restarted, or it's going to be restarted. That refinery has been shut down for years because a supply of oil wasn't available to it.
The Prime Minister has also defended the government's multi-million-dollar rental of One Alexandra Place, which is linked to the Attorney General Faris Al-Rawi. He said once the person linked to the property recuses himself from the negotiations, there's no corruption.
And when you rent from somebody, you're not giving them money, you're buying a service from them. And in the government system, there are procedures available when the government wants a building, or if there's a building for rent, and the government, any aspect of it, any arm of the government, whether it's WASA or central government, there are procedures in place. In this case, I can tell you, the cabinet was aware and took steps to ensure that there was no conflict of interest in there.
2 weeks ago, Minister of Public Administration Marlene MacDonald defended the government's decision in the House of Representatives. She specifically responded to statements by the opposition leader that the rental of the building was a conflict of interest. Dr. Rowley said all of the terms of the property were beneficial to the state.
I am not one of those who are of the view that if a job is available and somebody in the PNM is qualified, that person shouldn't get it because he's PNM. I'm not of the view that if a building exists in Port of Spain for rent and the government department that rents the building wants to rent it, that it shouldn't be rented because it belongs to somebody in the PNM.
The United National Congress says the Prime Minister's interview on a morning program today, Monday, is nothing but government PR. Public Relations Officer of the party, Anita Haynes, said Prime Minister Rowley spent 2 hours on the show in a bid to repair his government's image and deflect attention from its failures. She said instead of engaging in PR and wasting citizens' time, the Prime Minister should have spent his time accounting to the people of the country. Commenting on the Prime Minister's decision to defend the Attorney General on the One Alexandra Place issue, Ms. Haynes said the Attorney General's claim that he recused himself was not enough. She said it was highly unethical and quite possibly illegal.